Welcome back. This is Rajveer Kaur. I'm a mindful chemistry coach and I teach 11th and 12th class science students the subject of chemistry and help them get more than 90% marks in their final exams and also clear their entrance exams. And if you want to learn directly from me in my live online classes, you can just go to the description of this video and you can just see how you can reach out to me. Hope you are getting a lot of conceptual clarity from the previous videos. And in this series of videos, I'm taking up the back exercises of NCERT chemistry, 12th standard. Now we are on chapter number 2, that is solutions. In this video, I will be taking up the 5 questions, that is question number 21 to question number 25. And if you want to go to the next 5 questions or the previous 5 questions, you can just go into the description of this video and get the links for those videos. Okay. All right. So let us now move into question number 21. And let's see what is the statement for it and what we need to find out. So this particular chapter, it is one of my favorite chapters because it is loaded with numericals. And you know, numericals are the real practical thing about this very subject. Because in this particular chapter, if we talk about solutions, it is not like we just need to know how to make the calculations and this and that. It is actually having a practical approach. Okay, so like we are thinking of how we will be able to prepare 1 molar solution. Now, if you do not know how to calculate the amount of the solute that will be required to add in a specific amount of the solvent, how will you make the solution? So it is very important to understand how to make these kind of calculations. So let us now move into it. So question number 2.21 is, 2 elements A and B form compounds having formula AB2 and AB4. So elements are A and B. The compounds, they lead to the formation of 2 compounds. One is AB2 and the other one is AB4. When dissolved in 20 gram of benzene, so the amount of solvent has been given. So WA has been given to be equal to 20 gram. And W is solvent is benzene. 1 gram of AB2 lowers the freezing point by 2.3 Kelvin, whereas 1 gram of AB4 lowers it by 1.3 Kelvin. The molar depression constant of benzene is 5.1 Kelvin kg per mole. Calculate the atomic masses of A and B. Actually, we have been given 2 solutions. One is the solution of AB2 in benzene. Other is the solution of AB4 in benzene. So let us first figure out what is the solution 1, what information has been given about the solution 1. So for solution 1, we have been given that WB is equal to 1 gram, WA is equal to 20 gram, delta TF has been given to be equal to, delta TF for the first solution is 2.3 Kelvin, and KF, now KF is the constant for benzene. It will remain the same till the temperature is remaining the same. Okay, so temperature is same for both the solutions. So KF will be 5.1 Kelvin kg per mole for both the solutions. So this is the information that has been given for solution number 1. Now let us move into solution number 2. So here WB has been given to be equal to again 1 gram. Okay, so this is the solution of AB2 in benzene. Solution 1 is solution of AB2 in benzene, and this is the solution of AB4 in benzene. So WA is equal to 20 gram here also. Okay. Now delta TF again, it has been given to be equal to 1.3 Kelvin. In this case, KF is equal to 5.1 Kelvin kg per mole. And we need to find out what will be the atomic masses of A and B. Okay. Now to know what is the atomic mass of A and B, we can just first find out the molecular masses of AB2 and AB4. And then I will tell you how you can get the values for the atomic masses of AB2 and AB4 from the values of molar masses of AB2 and AB4. So here we need to find out MB. Here also we need to find out MB. So this is the MB for AB4. This is the MB for AB2. Okay, so delta TF is equal to KF multiplied by WB upon MB multiplied by 1000 upon WA. This is the formula. Now from here, we can just write WB is equal to KF into WA multiplied by, KF into WB multiplied by 1000 upon delta TF into WA. So KF is 5.1 for first solution. Now let us find out what will be the, oh my God, I have here also written WB, it is MB. Okay, so 5.1 W multiplied by WB, WB is 1 multiplied by 1000 upon delta TF has been given to be equal to 2.3 Kelvin multiplied by WA, which is 20. So now this will come out to be equal to so it is coming out to be equal to, let me quickly just find it out. You too calculate along with me. So it is coming out to be equal to 110.87. So this is the molar mass of AB2. Okay, now what is the molar mass of AB4? For here, we can just write MB will be equal to 5.1 multiplied by 1 multiplied by 1000 upon, now it is delta TF here is 1.3 multiplied by 20. So it will be equal to divided by, so it is coming out to be equal to 196.15. So I can just write MAB2 is equal to 110.87. MAB4 is equal to 196.15. So let's quickly first erase what we have written on the screen so that we can write the next part of this question and find out what is the atomic mass of A and what is the atomic mass of B. Okay. So now, if I say we have AB, I'm just selecting my pen. I forgot to select the pen. Okay. When we have AB2, I can just write, suppose the atomic mass of A is small a and the atomic mass of B is small b. So I can just write A plus 2B is equal to, the total molar mass is A plus 2B. Its value we know, 110.87. And for AB4, we can write A plus 4B equal to 196.15. Now what you can do is you can subtract equation 1 from equation 2. So when you will be subtracting equation 1 from equation 2, it will be 2b equal to. So because this will get cancelled, 4b minus 2b equal to 2b, it will be equal to 196.15 minus 110.87. So it is coming out to be equal to 85.28. So B will be equal to 42.64. So this is the atomic mass of B. Okay, now you can just choose any of the two equations and put the value of B there, you will get the value for A. And now you need to find out the value of A and write in the comment section below what answer you have got, so that I can know that you are actually working along with me. It is not no use of watching the video and not doing anything on your own. Okay, so this is how I can keep a check on you whether you are studying or not. So just find out the value for A, that is the atomic mass of A, and write in the comment section below. Okay, so let's now move into question number 22. And before doing question number 22, you need to complete question number 21. Pause this video here only. Okay, and then come back. So welcome back. Hope you have done it and you have written in the comment section below. And now let us move into this very question. So question number 22 is, at 300 Kelvin, 36 gram of glucose present in a liter of its solution has an osmotic pressure of 4.98 bar. Okay. So pi has been given 4.98 bar. Amount of glucose has been given to be equal to, WB has been given to be equal to 36 gram. If the osmotic pressure of the solution is 1.52 bars at the same temperature, what would be its concentration? Okay, so we have been given actually two solutions. We have been given two solutions. For one solution, we have been given the concentration and pi also. And for the other solution, we have been given only the pi. We need to find out the concentration. Now, why am I saying that we have been given the concentration? It is the solution of glucose in 1 liter. That is number of moles of glucose upon volume. Okay, now number of moles of glucose will be WB upon MB. WB has been given. MB is 180. So we know number of moles. Okay, so it will be, I can just write 36 upon 180 upon 1, because the volume of the solution has been given to be equal to 1 liter. So this is the molarity. Okay. All right. So I can just write C1. For this, the first solution, we can just write pi1 is the osmotic pressure and C1 is the concentration. And for the second solution, pi2 is the osmotic pressure, that is equal to 1.52 bar. And let C2 is the concentration that we need to find out. Now, pi is equal to CRT. Pi is equal to CRT. So I can just write pi1 is equal to C1RT and pi2 is equal to C2RT. So take this as equation number 1, this as equation number 2. I can just write pi1 upon pi2 is equal to C1RT upon C2RT. So this will get cancelled. So we can just write 4.98 upon 1.52 is equal to, C1 is 36 upon 180 multiplied by C2. From here we can just get the value for C2. So 36 divided by 180. So 0.2. So 4.98 is equal to, C2 is equal to 1.52 multiplied by 0.2 is equal to 0.304. So C2 will be equal to 0.304 upon 4.98. It will be equal to 0.061 molar. This will be the concentration. Hope this is clear to you. We have been given the vapor, this osmotic pressure of solution of glucose in the same solvent. For one condition, we have been given the concentration. For the other value of this osmotic pressure, we have not been given the concentration, and we need to find out what is the concentration. So this is how we can find it out. Okay, so let us now move into the next question, that is question number 23. So question number 23 is 2.23. question is, suggest the most important type of intermolecular attractive interaction in the following pairs. We need to suggest the most important type of intermolecular attractive interactions in the following pairs. We have been given 5 pairs and we need to tell what type of interaction can be there between the two molecules that have been given in the pair. So first pair is N-hexane and N-octane. N-hexane and N-octane. Now, first of all, before moving into telling what type of attraction will be there, we need to know what is the structure of these two molecules. So N-heptane, 7 carbons will be there in the chain. Okay, N-octane, 8 carbons will be there in the chain. So there is only the difference of one CH2 group. That is, this is in the homologous series. 7, 8. Okay, now in these two molecules, everything is similar. Only there is a difference of CH2 group. Okay, now here there is no special functional group that can lead to any kind of interaction. Both are non-polar. Now, when this kind of situation is there, no special functional group is there, no polarity is there in the molecule, the only possible interaction is the van der Waal interaction. Van der Waal interaction. So, in these two, there will be van der Waal interaction. Then the second pair is iodine and CCl4, I2 and CCl4. Now in these two also, this is non-polar, this is non-polar, polar interactions cannot be there, no hydrogen bonding can be there. Here also only van der Waals interactions can be there. Okay, let us now move into the third pair. NaClO4 and water. NaClO4 and water. Now NaClO4, it is Na positive plus ClO4 negative. This is an ionic compound. Okay. Now if we consider water, water is a polar molecule. So it is having dipole. So there is ion and there is dipole. So it will be ion dipole interaction. Ion dipole interaction. Now the fourth part of this question is methanol and acetone. Methanol and acetone. So let's first see what is the structure of these two. CH3OH, CH3 C double bond O, CH3. Now in this case, because hydrogen is attached to a very highly electronegative oxygen atom, there is a possibility of hydrogen bonding. Now, methanol molecules, they can form hydrogen bonds with acetone molecule because here also it is having highly electronegative oxygen atom. So it will be hydrogen bonding. Okay, so let's move into the next part. Just clearing my screen off first. Okay. So the fifth part is acetonitrile and acetone. Acetonitrile and acetone. So it is CH3 C triple bond N, CH3 C double bond O, CH3. Now this is polar because carbon and oxygen, they have high electronegativity difference. C triple bond N is also polar. So there will be a dipole. Here also there will be a dipole. So it will be a dipole-dipole interaction. Dipole-dipole interaction. Hope this is clear to you. And now let us move into the next question. That is question number 2.24. 2.24. Based on solute-solvent interactions, arrange the following in order of increasing solubility in N-octane. Okay, we have been given the solvent. Solvent is N-octane, that is normal octane. CH3, CH2, 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 8 carbons will be there in the chain. Hope I have drawn all the 8. You can just count. And if it is less or more, you can just make it 8. And explain. We have been given 4 compounds, okay? And we need to find out what will be the order of, increasing order of solubility of these compounds in N-octane, okay? So the first compound is cyclohexane. So I will be drawing the structures of these compounds first. Oh, not benzene. I'm so sorry. I have a habit of drawing benzene because I teach organic to my students online. At present, I'm doing that. So, okay. So this is cyclohexane. Okay. Then we have been given KCl. Then next we have been given CH3OH, that is methanol. And the fourth one is CH3CN, acetonitrile. Okay. We need to write in the increasing order. That is the one which will be having the lowest solubility in N-octane. We will be writing it first. Now, first of all, before moving into the solution of this question, we need to keep it in mind that like dissolves like. Like dissolves like. This means if a solvent is polar, it will dissolve polar solutes into it very easily. If a solvent is non-polar, it will dissolve non-polar solutes into it very easily. Okay. Now this is a non-polar solvent. This means the cyclohexane, which is a non-polar molecule, it will be highly soluble in this. Okay. So this will come at the last because it is the one which is having highest polarity. It is having highest solubility, least polarity. Okay. Then KCl. KCl is ionic. K positive and Cl negative. So this will be least soluble in this. So I can just write KCl less than. Now out of these two, the one which is having more polarity, it will be less soluble because the solvent is non-polar. So OH group is having more polarity than CN. So second number will be of CH3OH. Then next will be CH3CN. And because this is non-polar, so it will be having the highest polarity. So cyclohexane. Okay. So let us now move into the last question of this video. That is question number 25. 2.25. Okay. Amongst the following compounds, identify which are insoluble, partially soluble, and highly soluble in water. The solvent has been given to be water. And we need to find, we have been given 6 compounds and we need to tell which of these will be highly soluble, partially soluble, and insoluble in water. So the number 1 is phenol. Now phenol, if we see the structure of phenol, it is benzene ring and on that there is a OH group. Now if you see this OH group and this is water, we will feel that there will be hydrogen bonding. It will be there, no doubt. But it will be a weak hydrogen bonding because this portion of this compound is non-polar. This is polar, but the polarity of the molecule as a whole is decreased because of the presence of benzene ring. Okay, so it will be partly or partially soluble. Then the second is toluene. So it is very important to know the structures of the compounds. Only then you will be able to tell the solubility. So this is toluene. Now in this, there is no polar group. Okay, so it is a non-polar molecule. So it will be insoluble because water is a polar solvent. Then third one is formic acid. HC double bond O, OH. Now here I think you will be able to see whether there is polar group or not. It is soluble. Okay, you will be able to see this is C double bond O and OH is there. So there will be great interaction. Hydrogen bonding will be there between the water molecules and formic acid molecules. So it will be soluble. Then the fourth one is ethylene glycol. Ethylene glycol. So the formula for it is CH2OH, CH2OH. 2 OH groups are there which can form hydrogen bonds with water. It will be highly soluble. Then the fifth one is chloroform. So I hope you will be able to see it that there is no polarity. Okay, and this is highly polar, so it will be insoluble. Then the last is sixth one, pentanol. So it is CH3, CH2, 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 CH2OH. So this is the structure. 5 carbon chain is there. Now OH group is there, which is polar. It will be able to interact with water, which is also polar. But here also, just like in case of phenol, this group is quite big. 5 carbons in the chain, and the alkyl group which is present, alkyl groups are always, they are non-polar. So this is a big alkyl group, it will decrease the polarity of the molecule as a whole. So this will be partially soluble. It will be partially soluble. Okay, hope this is clear to you. And in the next video, I will be taking up the next 5 questions. Okay, so hope you are getting a lot of clarity. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends if you are getting conceptual clarity, and help your friends also so that they can also score well. All right, I will see you in the next video.